Her lips which whisper. Wow. Fell Burgundy Iris, or Moses Cleveland's Canterbury Tales, Book 9. Line 2401. Of pitch to mine and flame to bind, the swamps of Everdeep to find, of pitch to roil and torches for to wind, of pitch to burn and roofs to seal, but for to yearn and sometimes steal, a favor to return, at times in kind, a favor earned for to be burned, what retributions to be spurned, the letter of the law to be rescinded, a favor burned, revenge discerned, but manifest for to be yearned, the letter of the law deemed long-winded, but loath to read and thus forego, what letter of the law to know, what writ thus wrote, a mote to be ignored, what mote to be and words to see, but witchcraft letters all to be, the written law but spells to be implored, but word and glyph and ward bereft, but ignorance to bind was left, a statute but to be countless paces, a statute known to be a mile, 1,000 paces and a while, and blisters on the feet, frowning faces. What words and books indeed defined for sandals on the feet to bind, what blisters for to bleed between the lines, what tender feet indeed to melt, his leather purse but lined with felt, a pedigree befit and by design, of lofty airs and of the mind, restive, restitute and fine, by family wealth his writs of yearning learning bought, of lofty dares and secrets locked, knightly airs and chivalry mocked, more wealth for he indeed was what he sought. Upon the backs of paupers walked, he thus engaged with princes talked, a beggar he, thus he was impoverished. He well-to-do, but wanting more, the poor he strode on to deplore, backs to break, but by this rake with relish. With Janus who he was to bend, in bed with though they were but friends, frightened all and for to call on darkness. The dragon thus they yearned to know, and power craved they'd not forego, to dragon's den Catania to divest. In 331 after the fall, ran the upstart would pay a call, in company with Janus the usurper. Catania's inn and dragon's den, their service there they for to lend, to mend the road to Everdeep, to her. The viaduct of Everdeep, or swamp and pitch and fell debris, and trolls who goad and taunt with fell demands, of fairy fire and pitch to mine, for should she fall in by design, she pushed by Janus o'er the upstart rand. The dragon's hand they yearned to be, divisive thus they did compete, courting ere they for the dragon's favor. Deceitful ever they strove to be, twisted, two-faced, and yet to see treachery which reeked of marsh gas flavor, what airs which reeked with shades of spite, like shite to blow with burning might, the trail to know by those of fortitude, what wafting airs but lacking grace, which reeked of doom, indeed disgrace, deceit and error was sent for to elude, deceit and error like muck to mind, a brigand's back, and sojourn's rhyme, a drudgery to dawdle dauntlessly, a dauntless dotage ne'er to pass, promiscuous and passing haps, but vomit of a hellborn heart to bleed, a single-minded chore perhaps, pursued with joy but ere to lapse, but rhyme to crust, a hardened heart to rot, but rhyme in season but to know, and all of reason to forego, but rhyme in mind begat, a heart begot, but rhyme in mind but to tarry, yonder swampy estuary, but trolls to find and sinking feeling there, but trolls to find and muck to know, and faithful wary there to go, but darkness and despair and dismal air. Armando's plight not unforeseen, by entropy for to demean, for by the moon he always made the change, for by the moon indeed with haste, the paladin, however chaste, became a bear with appetites deranged. And I'll stop there. That's line 2432. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you about Little Miss White Privilege out there in New Mexico. I don't know what's going on with her. This started as a satire. It was dedicated to her, but it was pretty much making fun of Robert Hanson's espionage conspiracy and people who were involved with that. But she's looking like someone's evil grandmother from the Jewish mafia, the Mayfield gang up there in Cleveland. And like I said, with Robert Hansen dead, that's who's providing the validation for her behavior. It's like, spending, going on shopping sprees with credit cards that belong to the government of New Mexico. Then you got, her new husband, Shepard. Not sure which character represents him, but like I said, with him stealing money from the state of New Mexico and laundering it through her congressional campaign, he pretty much cost her the election out there. And she's still with this guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what to say about her. But, it's like I said, it's kind of like President Trump with his Mogadino BS. Anybody from Western New York or Ontario knows who the Mogadino crime family of Buffalo is. Their front door was the Buffalo Niagara narco-terror pipeline, and their back door was the Detroit Windsor narco-terror pipeline. So, they got connections. One of them was to Saddam Hussein. So in regards to the Hussein vendetta against, Playman Wilson, that's where some of that was coming through. You know what I'm saying? So, and I don't know where the current connections are between the Mogadinos and the Mayfield gang, but the Mayfield gang was known to own property in Kentucky and Las Vegas, probably Atlantic City too. So they're pretty much, I'm not going to say rivals with President Trump with his real estate owning or holdings, but, there's connections there. And with him, it's like I said, all the Mogadino crap, Mogadino, which if you don't know who they are, that goes right over your head. But like I said, I don't know what to tell you about Valerie Plame. It isn't looking good for her out there. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's like I said, identifying, as a Jewish mobster. And see, the thing with them, with the Mayfield gang, anti-Semitism is part of their means of obstruction. It's one of the things that they use to cover up a lot of their criminal activity, which includes heroin trafficking. And if you know anything about heroin, it comes from nations that are largely Middle Eastern and, generally Islamic by religion. So right there, you got trouble. So, it's like I said, I got a lot of stuff going on here. She banned me from her Facebook page again. So like I said, I've been on her side with this, hoping that she wasn't party to what her new husband was doing, Dr. Shepard. But like I said, it's, none of that's happening. You know what I'm saying? She's going to continue, I'm not going to get really negative, but, and most of her fans are oblivious to this. If you're not from a mob town, you don't know the mafia. That's about all I'm saying. But, it still comes down to heroin trafficking and all the connections made. And, I'm sure that most of them who own poppy fields in Afghanistan or Mexico have probably sold to like Pfizer and stuff like that. So, blame it all on Big Pharma. But I'm going to cut this short here. Love you all and have a good day.